They were chanting, Ali, Ali. Say what you want. Go back through all the years. Agree with the man, disagree with him. He is a world figure. He does transcend sport. He's a figure not just of athletic history, but of legal history, too. And they're here to see him and throw in sociologic history, too. This fellow has had some impact, a major impact on every avenue of the society. You're looking there at his record, 53-2. 37 KOs, the 2 losses, March 8, 1971 to Joe Frazier, and of course to Kenny Norton, March 31, 1973, when Kenny broke his jaw. Evangelista has had 16 fights. He did lose, as we pointed out in our journalistic piece on the rating procedure of the WBC and the WBA. In his case, he lost to Lorenzo Zanon, an unrated fighter, not in the top 20 of Italy. Ali weighed in. There it is. Ali at 221 1/4. Evangelista, just 22 years of age, weighed in at 209 1/2. There's your tale of the tape. 13 years age differential. There's nothing in the record of Evangelista that would document his ability to meet a fighter like Muhammad Ali. The height, I think, is grossly overstated of 6'2" for Evangelista. He looks closer to 5'10" to me. He has virtually no neck. Reminds me of the one-time Chicago White Sox and New York Yankee ball player, Walt No Neck Williams. There's Ali right there. And again, as you look at the tail of the tape, Evangelista's waist 2 inches larger, his thigh 1 inch less. The calves are about the same. The ankles measure reasonably the one against the other. Ali, amazingly, down to 221 1/4, as I said. And I say amazingly because when I was with him at the press conference announcing the fight, he looked about 245. When I was with him before that in Los Angeles, and there is Ali giving Evangelista the stare.
Yes, sir.
Instructions which couldn't be clearly heard from the referee, who is Harry Cicchini. The judges are Terry Moore, Ray Klingmeyer, again scoring down here in a 5-point must system. We're about ready to go. 8-ounce gloves, 22-foot ring. I was saying that Ali down incredibly to 221 1/4. Nevertheless, as I pointed out in my earlier interview with him, carries a flesh roll about the middle. Evangelista's trunks, he's in the green, the dark, go down to his knees almost. Now let's see what, if anything, he can do. Ali on his toes, quickly. Enchanting the crowd with the double shuffle. Dancing, hands at his sides. That's because of the nature of the opponent. Ali himself admits the hands aren't as fast as once they were, and neither are the feet. The stamina is suspect. Though he did go 15 rounds against Norton on September 28th last year at Yankee Stadium. Evangelista threw a left and missed. Well, we're having an entertainment show. Evangelista is dancing in kind with Ali. Of you, man, is apparently not necessarily odd. First round action, if you want to call it. Ali dancing. Ali short with 2 lefts. You can hear the Ali snort as he throws the blows. To push off with the left on the forehead of Evangelista. Such things would not necessarily normally be mentioned, but that's about all we're getting here. Other better than a Rogers and a Stair reprise. First round action, and Ali elects to entertain the crowd in a different way. Counting down to the end of the first round. As the rope-a-dope and the cover up. Evangelista couldn't get through it. First round has established exactly nothing. It's been a vaudeville act. We'll be back in a moment. Alfredo Evangelista, the Uruguayan-born, now Spaniard, who is getting a chance to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Now he looks like a bullfighter, moving that left foot, landing it in. Crowd is not so elated. They'd like to see some action, and they're letting that fact be known vocally. Hard put to a judgment. I'd say this is just a cut above, thus far, the Tony Inoki affair in Tokyo, when Ali went against the wrestler from Japan. It's of a piece, perhaps, with Jean-Pierre Coupman. Enjoys that, as Ali, who picked off an attempted blow by Evangelista, pretended to stack, to be stunned by the blow. Now Ali is just covering up, as you can see. And Evangelista is trying to score, but he can't get through those gloves of Ali. This entertains the crowd. Ali got a flicking jab in. I can't say it's that amusing to me. Less than a minute to go in the second round. Ali scores with a left jab. He hasn't thrown really but one combination. He has not been punching hard. And you hear the crowd in unison chanting Ali, Ali. Narrowing down the count in the second round. Oh, quick combination to the face of Evangelista.
Step back.
Cicchini, the referee, separates them. As we approach the end of the round, we'll be back in a moment. The bell for round 3. Ali waving come on to Evangelista. Between rounds, poured out the soundtrack. Ali Boumaier. Soundtrack from his forthcoming movie, The Greatest. Was the victory cry over in Kinshasa, Zaire, that incredible night of October 1974. Quick combination scores by Ali. Evidently he can do it at will. How Evangelista cannot penetrate those gloves. now beginning to voice its displeasure in the form of boos. Ali scores with a couple of jabs. Third one. Fourth one missed. They're scored. He can put that jab in at will. Oddly, the two have one common opponent. Remember the rotund little one, Rudy Lubers, who went 12 rounds with Ali, Ali winning the decision? Evangelista knocked him out in the third round. Lubers must have aged enormously between fights. Those blows got through. Not one. He cannot penetrate the defense at all. We're approaching the end of the third round. Gene Kilroy, part of Ali's retinue, sitting next to me is screaming, "Close it up, champ." He's getting embarrassed. Coming to the end of round 3. We'll be back. At the very opening of this show, a couple of hours ago, I said that Evangelista had dreams of being another bounding bat. And I reminded old-timers of a man named Paolino Oscuda, who was a tough fighter, a heavy, maybe the best ever to come from Spain. At this point, there is utterly no resemblance between the two. I count this a bad scene. Dope and the cover-up. The tactic employed so effectively against George Foreman. When Ali, fighting to regain the championship, revealed once again that perhaps his greatest trait for all the years was his ability to absorb punishment, to take a punch. Foreman punched himself out. Ali did away with him in the 8th round. The crowd is now booing the absence of action, particularly the absence of any real offensive action by Ali. Even at that, Ali not sharp, missing the right the way he did. Remember, this is his first fight since September 28th last. Evangelista with a wide sweeping left only touched Ali's glove. Be back in just a moment. The bell for round 5. Male dancers I ever saw were the Nicholas brothers a number of years back. combination of Ali throwing a punch or two in this round. Let's see if he goes back to the rope-a-dope and the cover-up. Really sticking a little more. And the right connected. There's the cover-up. Actually, a mild right uppercut got in from Evangelista. Actually got in. Did no damage. Ali sticks, moves a bit, and then against the ropes, covers up. When you think of those 3 classic fights against Frazier, when you think of Zaire, when you think of the 3 fights against Norton, it doesn't make you feel good to see the heavyweight title at stake in a thing like this. In August of '66, when he did away with the Blackpool bust, Brian London, the crowd gets excited. Suddenly, as Evangelista, pouring leather, but still doesn't get through, they get excited at the mere fact that Evangelista is the apparent offensive man at the moment. At least, as I was saying, Ali put away Brian London in the 3rd round. Coming to the end of this, the 5th round. We'll be back. That's Ali in his corner. Bell for the 6th round is sounded. Apart from Ali's clowning up to this point, which he especially did in the early rounds, the only thing he's shown that is kind of a remnant of the past is the quick flicking jab. The clowning can go only so far. You have to wonder how much this man really has left as a fighter. Because if he's out of retirement, which he is, he owes one thing for sure. He owes either Jimmy Young or Kenny Norton a fight. The public has a right to expect that fight if Ali is going to collect big money out of retirement. September of '66, when Ali had trouble with Mildenberger, the German southpaw. And Mildenberger felt so proud. I suspect Evangelista is beginning to feel proud, too. And Mildenberger was a difficult fighter. He was a southpaw. Southpaws give Ali trouble. And he was very game. There's a good left that snapped Evangelista's head back. Evangelista throwing leather, but not getting through. I want to advise our stations that we'll have a station break at the end of this round. Wild, amateurish left. Evangelista's nose is bleeding. That comes from Ali's flicking left. Late stage of Ali's career, you have to wonder what would happen to Evangelista if Ali went to work. Seeing Ali miss with those lefts over the challenger's head, you can see how he's not nearly as sharp as once he was. end of the round. We'll return after this from our local station. 7, Ali against Evangelista. Ali hardly needs identification. And watching this storyline develop, you have to begin to wonder how much, if anything, Ali can do anymore. Because at this point in time, as a matter of self-respect, you would have expected him to do something. Look at this. It all speaks for itself. Cicchini, the referee. Ali had made a brief complaint. Now trying to clown it up. I don't like this, and I'm sorry, frankly, that it's on the air.
Let him go. Get off his head now. Get off his head. Don't hold him, Ollie. Right in boxing. Get off of him, Ollie. Don't hold him.
There you hear it. The end of the round. There's Nick Siegel of the New York Post. Anderson hit one on the nose that time, I suspect. But they're all here because they're assigned to be here, like all of us, because they're reporters and because Ali has always been a happening. But this hardly can be so characterized. Remember Monday Night Baseball. The Mets against the Pittsburgh Pirates, 8:30 Eastern and Pacific, 7:30 Central Times. The other game will be the Boston Red Sox at Yankee Stadium against the New York Yankees. Well, we've just had a repeat of an old scene. It happened in the Ron Lyle fight. It happened in the Jimmy Young fight. Ali's brother, Rahman, just came up right behind us, yelled to Muhammad Ali, "You're blowing it. You're blowing it." He's not blowing it. Well, a couple of rounds might be given, in my judgment, to Evangelista merely on offensive effort. The basic truth is that Ali has used the left jab in most rounds to score whatever scores have been made, and they've been precious few, in truth. Remember the glorious fighting machine that Muhammad Ali once was.
Let him go. Let him go. Get off.
You see this. Maybe the thriller in Manila was the greatest fight I ever saw. Frazier, apparently in command after the 10th round. The resurgence of Ali, when, as he put it, it was the closest thing to death. And Joe couldn't come out for the 15th round. What a battle. And that fighter is going through this now. He misses now, Ali, even against an opponent like this. See that? Blows aren't clean, they're not sharp. This is the 8th round. A good left, Evangelista. Scored with a good left, and he stunned Muhammad Ali, who covers up.
Get off, lift it off.
He really got in a good left. We're coming to the close of round 8. It's about the only excitement we could get. We'll be back in a moment. Evangelista scoring with a left. Ali had his right way down. And it stunned Ali, as a matter of fact. This is the 9th round. Would you believe? In this bout is that it's a long, long time from September to May. As May comes, the days grow longer. So do the fights.
All right, let me have you. Stop punching. Step back. There you go. Step back.
This is the 9th round. When you see those wild amateurish lefts of Evangelistas, that you can determine the quality of Ali's opponent. And we have no intent to denigrate the young man. Believe me, we don't.
Let me have you. Get off. Step back.
Personable youngster.
Step back. Step back.
And he's had an opportunity to pick up a big payday. Crowd oohed at that left of Evangelistas, but it did not score.
Let him go, honey. All right, let me have you. Step off on me.
We're coming to the end of the 9th round. We'll be back in just a moment. Round 10. Ali would like to do away with him now, but you saw that wild missing right. Jimmy Young is in the audience. I think he would love to have a little bit of Ali tonight. Jab, and then another. Not the jab off the jab, but one blow at a time. There was a third. Not combinations. His neck, Ali, referee Cicchini told him.
Come on.
So we have the spectacle of the young fighter from Spain, trains in Segovia, about 70 miles north of Madrid. Beautiful town. Spectacle of him at age 22, chasing Ali all over the ring, not scoring, but Ali in an exhibition will do so much, I suspect, to undo the whole of what he has built in reputation as a fighter over the long years.
Let me have you. Stop punching, stop punching. Step back.
The end of the 10th round.
Get off the back. Get off, buddy. Step off on you. You're holding now. You're holding.
We'll be back in a moment. Round 11. You don't like to beat an old horse, but this has been dreadful. A wild left of Evangelista's glanced off Ali's neck. The whole thing has become a Spanish silent movie. To figure now in the 11th round, but the impatience and restiveness of the crowd growing and growing, that if Ali could do anything, he would do it, and would have done it by now. Look at Evangelista after Ali. And as a matter of fact, I think the crowd has been most tolerant in its behavior tonight.
Get off. Get back. Come on.
Really been lenient.
Come on, get back.
What do was leading up to is you have to suspect off this that there is little, if anything, left in the great fighter we once knew. Look at him miss. Look at him miss. You remember Muhammad Ali? Coming up to the end of round 11. We'll be back in just a moment. Round 12, believe it or not. And the aggressor, although ineffectually so, is Alfredo Evangelista. Ali has missed again and again and again all night. Occasional scoring with the jab. Evangelista hasn't scored at all. He had one good left that we showed in replay some rounds back. Nothing familiar about this Muhammad Ali. Nothing.
Don't hold him, fight square. Get off of him, Ali. Get off of him. All right, let me have it here. Let's go back.
The way this fight is going, Evangelista will make the World Boxing Council rating system look good.
Get off of him. Get off his neck. All right, let me have it here. Stop punching.
Based upon past experience with them, as our little exercise in journalism proved, this could enable him to move Evangelista up 4 more spots. Temporarily left the arena because he found the fight unacceptable. We're looking for him, hope to find him, get his view of what's been none transpiring here tonight.
1 minute, Ali, 1 minute. Get off his neck, Ali. Get off of him. No, guys, stop punching. Stop punching.
You know, Ali actually looks tired. He really does, Chris Schenkel. He looks tired. And what's he done?
What a job our pictures have done. It's pretty difficult to add captions to the pictures. They really tell the story.
Evangelista is certainly winning this round as we approach the end of round 12. Look at him. He's all over him. He's not connecting. We're going to stay here. And that was a good round for Evangelista. And Ali looks absolutely exhausted. There can be no more limericks after a performance like this. No reliance on the past. No mythology. As Chris said, the pictures speak for themselves. Look at them.
Art, I think we should be very thankful we had some lighter division bouts that were exciting tonight. Heavyweight division has always been glamorous and exciting, and it's lost a lot of glitter, I think, right here in Maryland once more.
He's got 3 more rounds to get through. And we'll see.
Second down. Second down. Let's go.
a dance and trying to take the offensive, but backing off as the young gentleman from Spain keeps pursuing him. Why he came out of retirement is his personal business. It's conjectured that in spite of all the monies he has made because of the settlement of his matrimonial difficulties, Ali needs more money. But the way this thing has gone, he landed a good right there, and he hurt Evangelista. Evangelista was hurt, but the kid has courage. From the beginning, he was unafraid. It was as if he sensed that he wasn't facing the Muhammad Ali of the past. Fella keeps after him.
Let him go.
The left didn't land, but was picked off, but he keeps after him. And believe me, last round, a lot of them landed. That missed. Less than a minute to go in the 13th round. How do you think they're scoring this, you folks at home? What do you think, Chris?
Well, I have Evangelista winning 3 rounds, 7, 8, and 12.
I think you're probably right.
Get off, lady. Stop punching, let him
They
go.
call Louis Firpo the wild bull of the Pampas. The only difference was Louis was good enough to knock Dempsey out of the ring at the old Polo Grounds back in 1924. Look at that, Evangelista scored there. Okay, approaching the end of the round. Now let's go to Frank Gifford in our studio.
Okay, Howard, we'll give you a little breather down there. A couple of baseball scores tonight. The surprising Chicago Cubs made it 5 straight wins, 13 out of 15. They beat San Diego 9-6. Also in the National League, Philadelphia 10, Los Angeles 6, 5-run third inning. That's 11 games over Cincinnati. Okay, we did have some fights earlier tonight, if you were with us. We had a junior lightweight championship bout. Alfredo Escalera in against Carlos Becerril. Let's take a look at that knockout. This is 8th round action. Escalera finally catching up with a very tough fighter from Pomona, California, Carlos Becerril. And that's how it ended. A junior lightweight championship. And of course, earlier, Roberto Duran beat Javier Munez. Those are the 2 fights that took place earlier. Okay, let's rejoin the coach and Chris Schenck.
Exciting thing are the card carriers.
Seconds out, let's go. There's the ring. There's the ring.
We're about ready for the start of round 14. A perfectly endless fight. I use that word in quotes.
Let him go, Artie. Let him go. Let him go. Put it off, Artie. Let me have it. That's right. Let me tell you.
Give Evangelista all the credit in the world. He's been a pursuing fighter. He was unafraid coming in. Tried to point out is that he is not a quality fighter. It was questionable that he should have been ranked 10th, but we showed you how that rating came about. And one would have thought that against such an opponent, Ali would have more left than he appears to have based upon this performance. He's going to try to explain this away. Ali is doing the scoring. Chris said he's given Evangelista 3 rounds. I've given him 4. Chris, with what we've been through in judges, the way a fight is scored in recent months and years.
Pretty good jab by Ali there, Howard.
Right. To the end of the round. Okay, that's the end of the 14th round. We'll be back in just a moment.
Set down.
All right. We're back for the 15th and final round, and Ali sat down. And I mean, he was fatigued. And he is fatigued. And there's no laughter in his eyes, and there can't be any joy in his heart. Not after this tonight. Fight his touch gloves, break for the 15th and final round. And Ali would like to rescue some vestige of self-respect here. Sticking with the left. Sticking with the left. One punch at a time. Lefts got in. 3 of them separately. A 4th. A 5th. The right keeps missing. The timing so off. The reflexes so slow. And Evangelista keeps pursuing. Trying to connect. Combination there by Ali. A combination for a change. A 1-2. Ali, as you can see visibly, although he now dances on his toes, he drooped in that corner for just a moment to catch a breath. Left scores. Evangelista is trying now to bull him, to out-muscle him with his body, to push through the cover on. This ends far differently from the way most thought it would. A good left by Ali. Crowd roars as Evangelista. He missed one, landed one. We're counting down to the end of this inglorious affair. over. Evangelista has gone the distance against Muhammad Ali as the fans boo him to distraction. In Evangelista's corner, they are hugging him. Heaven knows, maybe they think he's won the fight. Heaven knows, when they score it, maybe he will have won the fight. I've been around too long. But I'll tell you, what we saw was an exercise in torpor, not to be believed. Let me go into the ring and see if I can get an explanation from Ali. Please cover for me, Chris Schenker.
Okay, Howard. Tough night for you. Tough night for Muhammad Ali. Couldn't put it together. 35 years old. Shell of what he was. I'm sure you all agree. But this man, 22 years old, could be very happy. He went 15 rounds to the world champion. Had little to offer. Pretty inept. Nevertheless, he was huge underdog. 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, whatever. Howard now having a little trouble getting up as the Ali corner is directly above us here. And it is really crowded. Despite his performance, he draws that crowd still. And if you join us, we'd like to tell you that earlier in exciting bouts, an 8-round knockout for the world junior lightweight champion, Alfredo Evangelista, over Becerril. And then the world lightweight champion, Roberto Duran, won a unanimous 10-round decision over Javier Muniz. But right now, Howard working his way, trying to get to the champion. As we wait for the decision here, it'll be Harry Cecchini, the referee, and the two judges to the left and the right as you watch the fight with us, Terry Moore and Ray Klingmeyer. A lot of pushing and shoving. Ali wanted to leave the ring early, but was called back. Spanish radio would love to get at him. ABC television would like to get a comment from him, but I doubt if he's in too much of a talkative mood. Now, the decision.
Here is the decision. Judge Terry Moore has it 72-64, Ali.
72-64, Terry Moore, Ali.
Klingmeyer has it 72-64, Ali. Cecchini has it 71-65, Ali. Winner by unanimous decision, still heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
His 56th professional fight. He now has won 54.
Right.
Here's Howard.
As you can see, I have a very tired champion here.
First of all, I want to say Assalamu alaikum to Chief Minister, Religion of Islam and Religion of Islam in the West, Abu Walisi Muhammad. Also to my main mean, Tom Joyner, who's the WWE ring checkout from this jockey now.
All right.
And the great speed race, forgot the name.
All right. Now we've got to get down to cases. What do you say? What do you have to say? Because you have been, in the view of many of us, the greatest fighter who has yet lived. What do you say about your performance tonight?
I say that I fought a man who will be a top contender. Just like Ken Norton was nobody on fought him, Young was nobody. I revealed to the hypocrites of boxing that the great fighters such as Foreman and Bobbick don't go like you think they will. The unknowns always do a tough fight. I'm so thankful for the fight that man put up. You all know now he is no bum. And I promise you, he will go longer with Norton than Bobbick.
All right.
Give my back. That's not a nobody. What about that nobody you saw tonight?
Well, I didn't see.
Hear that music? Columbia Pictures, 19th of this month. And Los Angeles coming out with my movie. All of you go out to see my movie.
Right, let's forget the plugs for a moment.
No, you plug yourself, I plug myself.
All right, now listen. You've got to be honest and fair with yourself as well as with the public. Your reflexes weren't what they used to be tonight.
No heavyweight, not even that 22-year-old boy, can dance 15 rounds like I did. So I'm not what I used to be. To show you I'm a legend, the greatest fight in the history of the world. Off man, 35, fat as you say, still I can outdance any heavyweight in the history of boxing. It shows you I'm in a class of my own.
All right.
Getting there, I danced through that whole fight.
Leaving aside your performance tonight.
You all notice how close they all duck that issue, how good I danced.
Not ducking any issue. At this point in time, if you're going to fight again, you've got to fight either Young or Norton. You owe them that.
I'm on with Matt. We're trying to get Ernie Schaefer's. I know he's out there jumping for joy. Let him make a dollar. He's number 4 contender. The World Boxing Association has told me that what I say is right. Norton and Young have to eliminate each other to prove they're number 1. Because Jimmy Young beat George Foreman, who is the legal number 1 contender. He's ranked over Norton. People want me to fight both of them. I can't fight both of them. If I fight Norton and duck Young, they say I'm ducking Young. If I fight Young and don't fight Norton, they say duck Norton. Let those two fight it out, and I get 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay.
Hi, salam alaikum. All the Muslim brothers
Congratulations
in the world of all
you.
races, creeds, and colors. Salam alaikum. May Allah bless all.
Okay.
Allah Akbar.
Good luck to you.
Muhammad Rasulullah. Allah Akbar.
Let's go back to Chris Schenkel at ringside.
And again repeating, 71-65, 72-64, 72-64, 5-point bus system, unanimous decision. Dull encounter for the champion. Travel arrangements made through a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. Fly the friendly skies of United, where you're the boss. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.